Welcome to episode 13 of the Kiribati 36-foot aluminium sailboat build. In this episode I will be pushing forward with the keel box lids. Unfortunately the holes didn't line up, so I've had to weld them shut, all the holes, and then sand it down, and this is what I'm working with on in this episode. I've also pushed the through hole items forward, so it's 5 different pieces that I need to have laid, and so I made sure I have that ready to go as well. I'm also looking at stage 17 of the cost tracking, which is the keel box or the Keel Lock-Up Pin. So this is a little pin that is holding the keel in place when it's in its upright position. So we're looking at the cost of manufacturing those parts as well. So let's take a look. So as mentioned before, there is 5 through hole fittings that needs to be lathered. So what I am going to do, I'm just going to go and pick up a missing piece of the material that I need. Then I'm going to pass these drawings over to my friend to do this. I'll probably just lay them to the correct lengths and cut them up so they are ready for him to do the actual work. I wish I could get the drills and everything needed to do this myself, but it would cost more in buying in the actual tools than to let him do it for me, and he will do it better and quicker as well. So that's the way I'm gonna go. So arrived at SSA, Shropshire Stainless and Aluminium, to pick up the final piece for the through hole pieces, so I can send that off for lathing. So there it is, the missing piece. A good 30 minutes, or I would say an hour round trip just to pick it up. But you know, here it is. Checked Facebook Marketplace and found 45 kilos of lead in a similar location as where I was picking up my material. So I thought I might as well kill 2 birds in a stone and pick that up. So I got a good price for it. £50 for 45 kilos is roughly £1.20, £1.30 per kilo, which is it's a better price than the scrapyards pay. So if I would have to go to a scrapyard, it would be at least £2.70 per kilo. So I guess this is how I will have to do it. Check Facebook Marketplace, and when things comes up, go and pick it up for a better price. I need 2.5 tons. I probably have around 700-800 kilos at the moment. Doesn't look much, but it is 50 kilos of, well, it's actually 45 kilos of lead, to be honest. Not sure if you remember, but in a previous episode I found out that the holes in the keel box lid didn't line up with the actual holes on the lip itself. So after putting the keel box together, that alignment wasn't 100%. So the way forward on that one, I could either print some new plates with no holes and then align those holes and drill, or I could weld the existing piece and sand it down and then re-drill. So that's what I've done. So all of these holes have been welded shut. So now what I need to do is just sand it down neatly so it looks nice, and then put the keel box lids back on again and mark up the new holes so that I can drill them in the right place. So I just need to make a decision. I could either use a plastic shoulder sleeve that will make sure that there's absolutely no contact between the M6 bolt and nut once they've been put on, or I can stick to the original M6 holes where I just use a little bit of Sikaflex when I mount this at a later point. I probably, if I can get away with it, will use a plastic shoulder sleeve. I need to remember to leave space for the mast support column that will be sitting here, and make sure that the wheels from the whole solution of lifting the keel line up so that the spectra rope will be going in the middle here without chafing against any of these sides. I might make a plastic guard here, just have a softer transition between the rope and these holes, or just maybe round these corners and sand it down so it's not sharp. And as usual in this country, I sit down to do a little bit of work, and within 2 seconds it starts to rain. Welcome to the UK. That's the keel box aft plate done. I've also used a deburring tool on all the sharp edges to make sure that it's a bit softer, give it some sandpapering, and it's now ready to be marked up for new hole alignments and then new holes drilled. I just want to make sure that those shoulder bushes or shoulder spaces that I've ordered will be the right thing for the job before I do any drilling. As this is one of the loose parts that's bolted onto the vessel rather than being welded to the kind of hole itself, I'll probably paint this when it's done as well. I think it's going to be a couple of fittings on top of this that is used for the sink attachment, so I'll do that before I do any painting, so that should be good. And the other half sanded and ready for new hole alignment, and then some drilling. Hooray! I now have a tow bar on my van, so I can tow the trailer that I think I put together in episode 2. I should potentially have started the other way around, but hey ho, here we are. So these are all the lock-up pin parts. So this end piece here will be welded to the keel box. I just need to mark out exactly where to drill for this one to go in and be welded. And that's something probably I'll have to do by pulling the keel up with the actual spectra rope, with the actual pulley system. This one goes on the other side, it's welded, and there will be a little bit of a, in this one, on that side, there will be a bit of a rubber seal at the back here. That's a bit flexible. So that will be welded as well. This is the stainless steel lock-up pin that goes in to hold the actual keel. Because the end of the keel has a, at the bottom of the keel has a drill hole in it, which this one will slot through to hold it in place. And then once that's done, this kind of off-the-shelf cap will just be screwed on to make sure that this remains in place. And that's how simple the keel lock-up pin construction is. So this piece had to be machined, and that's something I asked a third-party friend of mine do. So that came with a cost. Same thing goes with this one. That came with a cost as well. I could probably have made this myself, but once again, I have less time and more money at the moment, so I outsourced this one as well. This one I literally just ordered and cut to length, so that's just a stainless steel 316 rod, and this was just ordered from Amazon, and it's literally just a plastic cap that will be used in the construction. Stage 17 Keel Lock-Up Pin. Parts and material came to £22.50 Great British pounds, which is roughly $54.92 US, and that was the material, the aluminium for the 2 end caps and also the stainless steel pin itself. External labor came to £40 Great British pounds, and that is $53.78 US, and that was my friend assisting in lathing those end caps. That was a quicker job for him to do than for me to work on, and I could then crack on with other things in parallel. So that is a total of £62.50, which is roughly $108.70 for the total stage 17. There wasn't much I could have done different here. It was, I could potentially have conclusion on stage 17. The parts and material stood for 36% of the total cost of this stage, and the external labor stood for 64% of this total stage. There was no tools and miscellaneous bought during this stage, so it was a fairly small stage in total. So for all the stages now, 1 to 17, I have reached the total cost of $11,533.03 Great British pounds, which is roughly $14,155.09 US. Of that, build plans and material stands for $5,517.01, which is roughly $6,846.77. and that is 51.72% of my total expenditure so far. So we could almost say that another 50% is external services and tools and miscellaneous. So that's a good thing to keep in mind when you are calculating your own costs, because it's easy to just look at the material cost and thinking that that's going to be your end cost. But if you are building anything like me, you realize that there is some things you can't do and other things you can do, but you will let third-party people do it anyway, because they might do it better, or they might do it even cheaper than you can do it. So yeah, that's, I guess, the lesson to be taken away from stage 1 to 17. Thank you for watching episode 13 of the Kiribati boat building series. If you're new to the channel, feel free to subscribe. If you have any comments, feel free to put them into the comment section. If you're interested in the wiring of this boat, there is a different playlist of that. And also, if you're interested in the build of an electric motor setup for the same boat, there's a playlist of that as well. So if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, and if you have subscribed, then I'll see you next time. Enjoy your week. Thank you.